All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Well, check out Pig and a Pickle, two locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in Marin, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in Northern California. It is phenomenal. Try the brisket. The brisket chili is second to none. I'm fired up, man. I just was at Niner Minicamp the last couple of days, and I'm fired up about D'Shawn Jamison. And I was fired up about D'Shawn Jamison as soon as I watched his highlight reel leading into the draft. And Jamison is an exciting player. Now, he's a dynamic return guy, but man, what I've seen on the field from him as a corner is why I'm really excited. He was a fifth-year senior, and he's got a ton of experience. And the one thing about it is you're looking for, dependable guys. And for the 49ers to be able to find a player like this out of Texas, I think it's just an incredible find for John Lynch and Adam Peters. Why? Because, Jameson is very experienced. He appeared in more than 50 games for the Longhorns, and he started more than 30 of them. And he's a versatile player. He makes impact plays as a kick returner, as a punt returner. He also lined up at multiple spots in the secondary, and he makes impact plays. And what you really notice, and this is one of those things that you cannot teach, and that is that D'Shawn Jamison has what I would call plus ball skills. He's in position. He makes a play on the ball. And sometimes, he'll come down with the pick. So, I mean, he has been all over the field. The final day of the minicamp, he made 3 plays on the ball, and he does it with regularity, and he does it with ease, and it's like he's a 5-year vet. If you watched him at Texas, he was better in zone. He's very comfortable in zone defense, and he's aware. So he knows when he's got help over the top. And so then he'll play the underneath routes, and contest every throw. So I like he's in position to adjust to the routes, and he undercuts any underneath route. And he's just one of these guys. He's got an uncanny nature of making plays on the football, and he's just a tough player. He's scrappy and tough, and he understands. He uses his hands to knock the receivers off their path, but he doesn't get grabby. He's not one of these guys that's grabbing and holding on. And in the NFL, I mean, there's all kinds of guys that lack athleticism, and they're grabbing and they're clutching and they're holding on for dear life. Those are penalties in the NFL. And when you do that in the NFL, you can't play. You just can't play. You can't clutch and grab. You got to be able to play man-to-man coverage without grabbing and holding the receivers. And I just think that you can see the explosive athlete that this guy is. He's got experience. Since he's got the experience, he's played in a bunch of different, he can play man, he can play zone, he can play off coverage. Off coverage is a lot about using your eyes and being able to absorb the cushion, and you got to be able to plant and drive. And then just, it's like you've got to have good timing, and you have to have experience. And it's not about, this is why you can't scout corners from, the combine or from 40 times, because the timing to plant your foot at the right time, to drive correctly, to deflect passes, it's a timing thing, and it all comes with experience. So if you have experience, then you're going to play, you're going to play with a lot more poise. And this guy's got a ton of experience and plays with a ton of poise. And you just don't see that in a day. I mean, this wasn't even a day 3 pick. This is an after the draft pick. This guy comes up with big time turnovers on these plant and drive situations, and he's got great anticipation. And it's just he's closing on the football, and he will jump routes. He'll get in front of the receiver, and he'll make the pick. So he's not the biggest guy, but he's not tiny. He's a 5'9", 5'10", 185-pound corner. If you're looking for 6'1", 200 pounds, this guy ain't it. But this guy, what I love about him, yeah, he's 5'10", 185, 190. But when you see him come up against the run, he understands he's 5'10", 190. And what I mean by that is he doesn't try to tackle people around the shoulders. He comes shooting up, going low. And he played the outside corner at Texas. In the NFL, I think he's probably more of a nickel. But and then some people will look at that size and be like, we can, bigger receivers. He's going to be better in the nickel against smaller receivers. The bigger nickel receivers are going to probably, have a mismatch against him. But this guy's got fight and he's got experience. And he's going to have to be better against the run if he plays in the slot. And that he's been a little inconsistent against, in that capacity. But what I like is that he consistently goes low. So, if you want to be good against the run, you got to go low. You got to knock guys off their pins. You're not going to grab guys around the shoulders and be able to tackle them that way. You got to go low. And he does go low. But he definitely needs to improve his technique at the line of scrimmage. He's got to, Wilkes is a terrific teacher, and he'll help him impress. The timing with his hands and his feet in press need to be better. And I've already seen him improve. To me, he's already improved. To me, this is the weakest part of his game, but I think that when he gets with Wilkes and goes through the reps, I think you're going to see improvement there. When he gets to the pro coaching staff, what this guy has, though, you can't teach. He's a dynamic playmaker, and he's a playmaker on special teams as a return guy, and he's a playmaker on defense. Now, if you're not a playmaker, I can't help you. If you're not a playmaker, I can't make you a playmaker. He just needs some improvement in his technique as a DB. Once he gets that technique, watch out. He's got experience playing multiple spots in the secondary. He's got really good ball skills. If you watch him as a return man, he's a difference maker as a returner. I don't think he's a good returner. I think he's dynamic as a returner. Would not be at all. And I asked the coach Schneider, the special team coach, what he thought of him. And he said he liked him. He talked more about Ronnie Bell than Jamison, but he said he liked Jamison. And if you watch Jamison's highlight reel at Texas returning kicks, guy looks like Deion Sanders. I mean, seriously, his highlight reel is off the charts. So it's all more about consistency. I've seen it. I've seen him do it. So I know he can do it. It's just a matter of consistency. There's, he doesn't have ideal size. He's not 6'1" with long arms. He's 5'10", but who cares? I'll take a 5'10" corner who's making plays on the ball consistently over a 6'1" guy who's 3.5 yards away because he can't mirror receivers because he doesn't have the level of body control to mirror NFL caliber receivers. This guy can mirror receivers, and we're seeing it in practice. The Niners have some good receivers, and this guy, Jamison, is closing the space down consistently. But what I love is he gets there on time. He's on time. So there's just a lot to like. I mean, there really is a lot to like with D'Shawn Jamison. And, he's a Houston, Texas kid. He went to Lamar High School. He was rated as a 4-star prospect coming out of high school. And then he opted to join Texas. He was heavily recruited. Could have picked his spot. A lot of people wanted this kid coming out of high school. 4-star guy. And he goes to Texas. He winds up playing a lot. 2019 as a freshman, saw action in 12 games. As a sophomore in 2020, he played 10 games. 2021 as a junior, he played 12 games. In 2022 as a senior, he played 11 games. He's playing special teams. He's playing, and what do you see? You see an instinctive player who's really adept at reading routes, and he plays with great anticipation. And, if you want to play a zone, this guy's very aware in the zone coverage. He's very aware in the ball skills. As I said, you can't teach that. And the fluidity and the change of direction, and the ability to mirror quicker guys underneath, very difficult to do. This guy does it naturally. So he tracks the ball naturally. He plays the ball naturally. He's good hands for the interception. He can play tight man coverage. In zone, he plays with awareness. He doesn't hesitate. He's got quick feet. I mean, there's a lot to like. Fluid hips, top end speed. This guy can turn and run downfield. Good awareness, and when he drops into the zone, there's a lot to like. And then when you look at the measurables, they're all pretty, pretty middle of the road until you get to that 3-cone. He's got a really good 3-cone drill, and that really tells you about what kind of athlete he is. But what I love too is that there's an explosiveness to him coming out of the back pedal, and the closing speed and the timing and the ball skills to come up with the big play. Comes up with the interception, comes up with the PBU. Great anticipation skills, very explosive, comes, firing downhill with tremendous burst. So, there's a lot to like, man. He's definitely better in press at the line than he is in off coverage. He with better technique and better coaching, he's going to look a little bit more dependable coming out of that back pedal. Sometimes you can say he plays a little soft and gives up throws underneath. The back pedal needs to be improved. There's no question, but I've already seen him improve in a couple days. So obviously Wilkes is doing a nice job. Remember that name. He wore 49 in the mini camp. He'll probably wear 49 in camp. D'Shawn Jamison. What this guy's got, they can't teach. What he needs, they can teach. And he's got a great teacher in Steve Wilkes. So, man, you say what you want about the 49ers, and they miss sometimes on day 1 or day 2 of the draft, but they hit on day 3, and they hit after the draft, and they got another gem in D'Shawn Jamison. And I can't wait for you guys to check him out this summer. It's going to be that D'Shawn Jamison is going to make the 49ers, and he's an undrafted free agent, college free agent who 7 rounds of the draft. Corners are incredibly valuable in the NFL, and the Niners found one after the draft that's going to make their team. I mean, it's a great story. It really is. I can't wait for it to become reality this summer. Hope you enjoyed our 49er video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. And thanks to all you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.